seconds. He just disappeared.
No, I'm
And
here.
we're live. Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to your podcast. What is this? Episode 12
Yeah.
Yep.
of the upcoming retro podcast. I'm one of the co-hosts, Video Game Voting, joined by two of my lovely co-hosts. Start with the first lady of the upcoming retro podcast. Introduce yourself.
Hey guys, I'm AK Games. Welcome back to another episode.
What's going on, guys? I'm Wrecked. I'm the angry one on the podcast, or
No, just one of them. We're all angry.
yeah.
Speaking of angry, we had a lot of stuff take place in the gaming world. So we're going to jump right into the first topic of the day. Let's talk about Sony's recent state of play. It was some mixed reviews online, and I kind of think that people put these unrealistic expectations, not just on state of play, but every time a company has one, they're like asking for these things that nothing's been talked about, and they kind of get all worked up, and then they work themselves up to get let down. But I thought it was relatively decent, to be completely honest with you. I know you guys are big PlayStation fans. Let's start with AK and get your thoughts on that. And you probably can refresh my memory with some of the games, but from what I saw, I was impressed, me personally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why everybody was upset by it, to be honest. I mean, they're always going to have some smaller games, and then they had a really big reveal at the end, which is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. And if I'm saying that wrong, I'm sorry. I know I always get um, comments about that, but I love that game. And look, that made the whole state of play right there for me. They announced a few other stuff too. Alan Wake DLC. What's another big one? Hitman VR. I love
Mm-hmm.
Hitman, so I'm really glad with that. Monster Hunter's Wild. I think they also announced some new controllers. It's like, so I'm not sure what people are looking for. I was really pleased with it. I got to watch it with my audience, and everybody in the comments seemed pretty pleased by it as well. So I just, again, like Votary was saying, I don't know what people were expecting. Like, I don't know if they think just every game's gonna be like a new banger, like, oh, Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok. Like, we already got those games. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the sequel to the Ghost of Tsushima is like probably a really huge one. Like I said, that made the whole thing for me. But yeah, what do you
Yeah.
guys think?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Rec? If you're
Dude,
solo, brother.
honestly, like, I was happy with it. There's a couple games that are coming out that I'm stoked for. Number one, we're getting free DLC for Astro.
Technical difficulties here. Wait
Uh-oh.
for him to thaw out here for a second. We'll bring him back in a second, guys, while he recovers from that. So my thoughts on it, like I said, I was pretty good with it, but I just feel like so many people, they build these things up to let themselves down. Like, they always want something. There's nothing wrong with wanting it, but okay, he's back. I'll wrap it up so you go back in.
No,
Rec,
go
but
ahead, buddy. My internet's
yeah,
acting up today.
yeah, I don't know why. Like, and they do it every single time. And this sucked. But like, nobody said like these things were coming, and they get so like, oh my god, like, and you see them spamming the comments with whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought it was pretty cool. And AK, you mentioned that Hitman VR. Didn't they showcase another like survival horror style VR?
They,
Metro.
yeah, they did a lot of
Okay, yeah,
VR.
that's what it was. That looked great. I'm all, especially for survival horrors and VRs. That's insane. They're gonna need to drop that price on that VR for me to get it. I still got the first one, but that looks pretty freaking cool. But Rec, you want to jump back in?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. My internet has been acting up. I got to call my provider and have them come out and replace the box. But no, I actually enjoyed it. There was a lot of good stuff. I'm really excited for the Astrobot free DLC, because I don't know if there's a hot take, but Astrobot as of right now is my game of the year. I absolutely love that game, dude. I'm hooked on it. I'm addicted to that game. And then you had the Lunar series. If you're a big JRPG fan from the 90s, it was on the PlayStation 1. If you liked Lunar and JRPGs, you're getting a full like remaster of both games that comes out. That looks amazing. And then if you're a PlayStation 2 fan, we're getting Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered from the Legacy of Kain franchise. So Soul Reaver 2 was on the PlayStation 2, and then part 1 was on the PS1. Great games. So those are getting remastered. And then you're getting, obviously, you know, like AK was saying, Ghosts of Tsushima part 2, Ghosts of Yotai. And dude, Ghost of Tsushima is one of my favorite games of all time. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a masterpiece from start to finish. It's like one of the few video games that actually made me get emotional while playing the story.
Did you cry?
I did. During certain parts, it was like, dude, I feel like I was watching a really good movie. So how could you not be excited about getting the sequel to that game? I think that you're getting, you know, more controllers and skins for your or shells for your PlayStation. And there's a ton of games that are coming out. I mean, I really don't know what people expect all the time. Yeah, there are certain state of plays or you know, that, I mean, I don't know if they expect like these crazy, like over the top bangers every single time, but I would say the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima is a banger.
Exactly.
Like, it's up there with God of War Ragnarok. It's up there with Horizon. Like, Ghost of Tsushima is a huge game, and we've been begging for a sequel for a while now. So I don't know why people are so upset. I genuinely don't know. You know, it's like, and like you said, Marcus, is like people like for the Nintendo events, Xbox events, people like concoct these things in their head of like, they're expecting like, oh yeah, Nintendo's doing one, we got to get a new Star Fox or something, and then they don't get a Star Fox and they're like, Nintendo sucks. And it's like, dude, nobody talked about a new Star Fox. Like, I don't know where you people are making this stuff up at. Like, I don't understand it. Like every freaking Nintendo event, they didn't announce Metroid Prime 4, people would lose their minds. Like, dude, we know it's coming, relax. Like
yeah, it's insane how people get so bent out of shape over things that were not mentioned. And I mean, it's I don't know why they let their hope get in the way of what actuality is and not appreciating what's there.
Dude, we are spoiled. We are spoiled as gamers in this day and age. Like, we get so many games. Like, remember when we were growing up, like the 80s, the 90s, even the early 2000s? Like, dude, we get games across the board on every platform. Indie games, AAA games, AA games, like all year long from every platform. Look at Steam and Nintendo, Xbox, and Microsoft are cranking out different types of games all year, every year, and it just seems like it's still not good enough. Like, we didn't get that like when we were growing up back in the day. Like, you got a couple releases a year and like that was about it, you know. Like, you didn't have, people are expecting like them to deliver, but then they get mad when they deliver these games on this like crazy time crunch, like, oh, it's incomplete, or oh, it's broken. It's like, dude, like, what do you expect? Like, they have to crank these games out like super fast, and people are complaining that there's not enough games. There's plenty of games, you guys. I mean, for God's sake, the Nintendo Switch online store has 15,000 games on it alone. There's something for you to play.
Something.
Like, we don't have to have a Zelda every single year. Like, let the game cook, right? Let them create a masterpiece. It takes time.
And I was going to hit on that point. You would think that with so many mishaps with games coming out, not fully done or needing to be, I can understand patches, like they decided to add something and notice like certain mechanics may have not been up to par, but we've had games come out that's literally been broken, right? Allow these companies to take their time and do it right. Seriously, like, you know, we don't want, because the first thing you're gonna do is complain. I mean, look at Concord.
Oh yeah,
prime example, man. It probably would have been great. And I'm hoping they go back to the table and, you know, fix it and re-release it instead of, you know, throwing all that money away. Like, yeah, granted, the physical discs are gone, but, you know, and keep in mind, I think people missing something that may be happening with them getting rid of or having companies actually destroy the physical copies. I actually got wind that GameStop was told to throw them in the dumpster. And I wish I knew, because I would have went behind GameStop, but they were told to destroy them in store and then throw them away. But like Walmart and all them, supposedly they were just throwing them in the dumpster. And I wish I had known, but that's neither here nor there. But since they're going to a digital console, maybe it's being re-released on there. You know, hopefully so. We may have missed out on something. Because that's really weird to throw all that money in the trash and just kind of like
walk away
spend
from
years
it.
and millions. Yeah, I don't see that happening. But we're going to switch to our next topic, which was which actually freaking insane.
Really
Go
quickly
ahead.
too, a
Sure.
lot of people also, guys, you know, people were complaining at the fact that we're getting a remaster of Horizon Zero Dawn because it's not that old. Now, I could see that, right? Like it's not that old, but I will admit I am kind of excited because I do own, if you own the PlayStation 4 disc for Horizon Zero Dawn, it is only a $10 upgrade to get the new remastered PS5 version that's coming out. So don't, like, if you already own Horizon Zero Dawn for your PS4, like, don't worry, you don't have to go out and drop 60-70 bucks on the PS5 version. You can literally pop your disc in, pay $10 and just get the upgrade, which is a nice touch for people that have already played it, cuz like I haven't finished it, but like I would like to play the newer PS5 version. So the fact that I only have to pay $10. And here's the thing, and if you don't have the physical PS4 disc, guys, literally go to any GameStop. It's like a $10 game. So like buy the $10 PS4 disc, buy the $10 upgrade, and for 20 bucks, you're off to the races. Like you don't have to spend the $70 on the PS5 version. Just
That's a good hack.
my little tip. Yeah, just my little tip for that.
Yeah, I think people they kind of miss those things because they're not really paying attention too much. But the next topic, the PS5 30th anniversary limited edition, the bundles and the scalpers.
Yep.
Whew, I'm actually on eBay because I want, like, I'm just kind of going through. I'm trying to do the settings. Let me share my screen real quick and show y'all what's going on. Like it's insane. Let's go here real quick. All right. So look at this listing right here. $7,500 confirmed pre-sale, right? You got the DualSense Edge, $440. What's the regular price on the DualSense
It's like
Edge?
150-ish.
I think it's more like 200.
Yeah, it might be
that's not-
pushing 200.
Yeah.
This one's at an auction for $550. $5,000. I'm gonna
go to the sold listings, dude.
Yeah, that's
like,
what I was going to say. So is it it's under advance, right?
Yeah, I think so. Or is it?
Sold items.
Yep, there you go. Good Lord, $38.99. You're joking, dude.
$400 for DualSense Edge. It was best offer, so we know what it was close to. This is for the whole bundle. Wow. How much was that bundle officially?
Like 1,200 or
1,200
or 1,000. It was like 1,000.
I think it was 12. Could be 12. I don't know. Maybe it was 1,000 because that
it
one
wasn't 3,700.
Yeah, that's true. $5,000. Well,
see, okay. I hate scalpers, but I would pay 130 for the anniversary.
Yeah, that's not bad. 128. That's not bad at all.
Well, because if you look at the other special edition PlayStation 5 controllers, like the Astrobot or the Ragnarok or the Devil or Final Fantasy 16 controller, they go for like 130 in the box. So like I would spend, if I had to, if I couldn't get it anywhere else, I'd spend the 130 for the 30th anniversary controller. That's really the only thing out of this bundle that I really wanted that seemed like realistically obtainable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. Is this the official box, guys?
Dude, if that's the official
that's
box,
fire. I was gonna say
awesome.
that is fire. I ain't gonna lie. That is super fire. Not like $3,000 fire. Look at PS4 Portal and the controller, $1,100.
Wow. So it comes with the DualSense and the Edge and the Portal.
So they got the DualSense and Edge. Oh, that's not. Well, what's the Portal? I guess it's regular price, right? It's not.
The Portals are like $200, and then the Edge controller is
like 150, 200.
Let's say the Edge is 200, the Portal's 200, so now you're at 400, and then the controller is like 80, so you're at like $480. So you're double.
They're pretty much double.
They're over doubling up on you.
Those aren't bad. 3,800. Wow.
It just makes me think about like when the PS5 originally released and nobody could get their hands on them, and then everybody's just selling them for like crazy prices.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm surprised.
Look at that. That's not bad. 900.
Yeah, so they made $100. about 150 because after tax, you know, $699. Right.
Oh yeah, and see, you know what? Scalpers they didn't really think some of this through because of all the fees they gotta pay.
Yeah.
And it's normally generated by what the sale is. You know what I mean? So
yeah, because after tax, you're gonna pay like $750 for the PS5 Pro. So like, if you're only making 900, you're only making $150.
Yeah, another one for $3,000. I don't know.
But then you have to pay
freaking
eBay
insane.
fees. So like, you're really not making 150 because you're paying the eBay.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, but
So
I mean, for these
like
prices,
$100.
they made out.
Oh yeah, they robbed
$2,800.
people. But dude, if
Oh,
you
my.
look up right now, like look up the PlayStation 20th anniversary and see if that held its value. Because that was 10 years ago. Like, what are those complete in box consoles going for? Because if they held their value, maybe these people weren't so crazy to buy these for that type of price, but I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, I feel like people are gonna pay it. Like, there's gonna be people that buy it.
Yeah, that's true. I don't
Maybe type in PlayStation 4 20th anniversary. Yeah, there it is down there.
Let's see. Wow.
Oh, well,
that was sold. That was sold the other day. That's CIB 1,500. Sealed only PS4s 1,650. Wow, $2,000. These were recent sales too, within the past week. 1,800, 2,600. Oh well, this has extras. That's the hat and some other stuff in here. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, like what was like the top end back then, like the high end.
I couldn't tell you, dude. I honestly, I don't know. So, okay. So here's my question. Cause I always get this one mixed up with the other one. What was the other PlayStation 4 console that was blue that had like the
State of Play?
That had like the square and X and stuff on top? And it was like for selling
so
many consoles.
It was
right?
the Sony State of Play. I actually found that one. First year I went to Siege. I stopped in a GameStop out there. And some guy was trying to trade it in the GameStop. And I bought it off him for like $150. But here's the thing. They are not that valuable. They are not that valuable at all.
No, I'm curious as to how much that one's worth.
Let's put it in real quick. I thought that was called. It's called Sony something. Oh, what is it called? I feel like it's State of Play. Somebody in the comments.
It was the one that they released for selling so many consoles, right? Like they sold. It was like.
It was something. I can't remember. I feel like it was State of Play. Let me see.
There it is. That's it right
Days
there.
of Play. That's what it was. Sorry.
Oh, you're
so
close.
Mine was a CIB. So this was 300.
See, for a CIB one for 300, that doesn't seem like completely unreasonable.
Yeah, see, open is 150. That's about what it was.
Okay, so I don't know why they released it. I think it was because they sold so many PlayStations or something. But
yeah,
if you're a Sony collector and a Sony fan, having this console, the 20th anniversary and the 30th anniversary, like if you have like a crazy amount of disposable income, it's not a big deal for you to buy these things. Like some people just don't care. Like the people that are spending $3,000 or $4,000 on these PlayStation Pros, obviously they have the money and they don't care.
Exactly.
Or they're putting it on a credit card and they're paying that sucker off for the next year or two.
I mean, not highly recommended, but
right. No, that's why I said like there's gonna be people that buy it. Like that's why people do it, because there is gonna be people that just have money to blow, or like you said, put it on credit cards. It's always gonna be somebody.
Yeah, either that or they're really, really big PlayStation fans, and it kind of doesn't matter like to them that
you have those fans of everything, and like it doesn't matter whether it's sports or whatever. If it's something that they really want, people will buy it. Like it doesn't matter, and that's why I hate scalpers, because they take advantage of people.
Yeah, I think for the most part though, if we had the opportunity to flip something, maybe not that crazy. Like if I was able to double up, and I feel like it would make sense. Well, I mean, they're limited, so technically, it's all in what people want to pay for whatever it is they want. Honestly, so can't really like judge people, I'm not going to judge them based on, what people want to pay for things that to them may have sentimental value. But that's up to them. But we're going to shift topics to the next one. Ubisoft.
Yeah,
That
that's a big
whole
one.
debacle. You want to give some details? Who wants to take that one? I know you guys are both super in tune with this. AK,
Greg,
you
you
got
want
it, or Rec?
Yeah, I can take it. So basically, Ubisoft announced the other day that they are pushing off the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows to February 14th, Valentine's Day. Weird day. I feel like that'll end a lot of relationships because people would rather be playing video games than. I'm just kidding. No, so they pushed it off. It was a big announcement saying that they need to polish it up and make some changes. And if you look, Ubisoft's stock has plummeted from about $20 a share down to $2 a share really quickly and rapidly. And a lot of it has to do with the recent failure of Star Wars Outlaws, the lack of sales. And Ubisoft is really under a lot of scrutiny, and a lot of people are upset with them because a lot of people feel like Ubisoft, according to the articles and the videos I've watched, they feel like Ubisoft has been pushing an agenda on its customers and players for quite a while now, and people have just gotten kind of sick of it and don't want to play their games and just aren't buying. So I feel like Ubisoft pushed this release date off to February because they know that if they have two AAA failures back to back and their stock has already plummeted, they're in big trouble. And I don't know what the future looks like, but it's so bad that all the higher ups and board members are doing an internal investigation as to what is going on, because supposedly there is some real shady stuff going on behind closed doors. I heard a certain someone is trying to plummet the stock so that they can come up and buy more shares. I've heard all kinds of crazy stuff. So Ubisoft is in bad shape right now, you guys. And I honestly am not surprised. I feel like Ubisoft tries to crank out too many games and in a year, and the games end up flopping because they're unfinished, unpolished, poorly made, or they're pushing an agenda on people that don't want that in their video games. It's a combination of so many things, but that's basically what's going on. Ubisoft is in trouble, and they can't afford another failure.
I want to pull up the official statement, and I'll read that, and then we'll jump into AK's thoughts. So it says, "Dear players, Assassin's Creed Shadows is a dream project for us, finally bringing the series to feudal Japan with many features developed with our community in mind, such as a Parker or the renewed stealth brought by new technology, all set in a beautiful and immersive world. It's an ambitious addition to the franchise, a rich experience that can be lived through the eyes of two unique protagonists, but we realize we need more time to polish and refine the experience, pushing further some of our key features. As such, we have made the decision to postpone the release date to February 14, 2025. The game will release on a broad range of platforms, including Steam at launch. Additionally, pre-orders will be refunded. All future pre-orders will be granted the first expansion for free. We understand this decision will come as disappointing news, especially to those who've been waiting patiently for Assassin's Creed game inspired by feudal Japan, but we sincerely believe this is the best interest of the game and ultimately your experience as a player. Rest assured, we are looking forward to the moment you will embark on a memorable adventure." I can't even pronounce that. Somebody want to do that? I can't pronounce it until then. We thank you for ongoing support. Basically, the two protagonist names, but yeah, some people saying they're not like buying. From what I'm seeing, they're saying they're not buying the apology, and they're saying like it's kind of like BS, kind of like what Rec was saying, like they're not buying it. What's your thoughts on it, AK?
Yeah, so I have a lot of thoughts because I used to be a very, very huge fan of Ubisoft. I feel like I don't want to say they ran the game for a long time, but they made a lot of games in the past, and they you know have their hands in a lot of different pots as far as like consoles and stuff like that. Like a lot of companies, like Santa Monica Studios, for instance, like they most of the time they only make stuff for PlayStation, but Ubisoft, they have their hands on almost every single console. But what going downhill for me was when they put out Far Cry 6, because I'm a huge Far Cry fan, and I was so hyped for Far Cry 6 just for it to be like a flop. So I was so mad about that. Um, I know they made a big deal about Assassin's Creed Mirage. Because I think before Mirage, they took a little bit of a break because people were saying that they started to fall off and stuff like that. And they came back with Mirage, and that was dang near a flop. And then the one that came out this year, Skull and Bones, was a complete flop. And it's like, dude, like, what are y'all doing? I'm pretty sure they put out Prince of Persia, and I don't think Prince of Persia was a complete flop, but I also don't think it was like the best game that they could have put out. But it just makes me sad because Ubisoft used to do some really good things. Like, I know I'm pretty big on Rainbow Six Siege. I love Rainbow Six Siege. I know
Such
it's kind
a
of
good game.
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
died off now, but what else? Watch Dogs. They made a lot of good stuff, but it's just like recently, I don't know what's going on with them. They need to figure something out. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have much to say other than kind of to bring up my point of what I was talking about earlier about allowing companies to take their time and create a good product the first time
Yeah.
around. Like, I can respect that, but I think with the stocks plummeting and all that, that's what adds to the people
Pressure.
being skeptical about. Yeah, it's kind of like people like, all right, what's really going on? You know what I mean?
Another thing I kind of want to add too is that I feel like they're trying to people please too much, because that could be a problem in itself when they're trying to please like everybody and then they don't please anybody at all. So I think that
Yeah.
could be a big
Yeah.
problem too.
Well, I
Yeah,
was watching a video where they were explaining that the Japanese community is, I guess, upset about Assassin's Creed Shadows and the main protagonist being not being Japanese.
That's the whole thing too.
And that's a whole nother thing, right? And like, I mean, me personally, like, I love the Assassin's Creed games. I haven't played every single one, but dude, I still remember playing the original Assassin's Creed when it first came out. Got it Christmas morning, man. Like, and ever since then, playing Assassin's Creed 2 with Ezio, or like even the more modern ones like Origins, and like I enjoyed Valhalla. I mean, Valhalla didn't feel like an Assassin's Creed game, really. I mean, it felt like just like a hack and slash like Viking game, but it was still fun. Like, I mean, I don't hate it. Like, I still had a good time. So I heard Mirage was a lot of fun. A lot of my friends really enjoyed Mirage. So I'll still buy Assassin's Creed Shadows. I don't care if the protagonist is black or Japanese, whatever, man. Like, if it's a fun game, it's a fun game. I don't give a shit. But sorry. But that's just me. But that's just me though. Like, but I did hear that a lot of people in Japan are not thrilled with the fact that it is a game taking place in Japan and the main protagonist is not Japanese.
Yeah.
So
go ahead.
I was just gonna say I kind of I have some knowledge about the Yasuke thing and stuff like that, because I did do a video on it and it got a lot of traction. But I feel like I don't even know personally. I mean, from my experience, from what I've seen, I don't even know if it's the Japanese that's mad, but I feel like it's the people that say, "Oh, this game is woke," people that's mad.
Yeah, I was about to hint at that. Like, now I'm not saying that the Japanese wouldn't or shouldn't be mad, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously with me being African American, we see things like this a lot. I don't like the fact that when it is a black protagonist, it seems like it's always kind of pushed as a certain narrative. But I will say this kind of seems pushed, and I say that because it's supposed to be based out of Japan, so it's kind of like left field. Not saying that it doesn't exist, but it's supposed to be based out of Japan. It should be someone that's recognizably Japanese. So I will say, I will agree this time. I will agree on this, like that. I feel like they kind of seem like they're pushing the narrative. I would not disagree with this one. Like, I can see the point. You know what I mean? But not when people say, "Oh, it's woke." Well, you know what? I take that back, because I'm kind of saying the same thing as they're saying. So I'll take that back.
Yeah.
So I actually agree with this, and not saying like I'll always take a certain stance. I don't like when the stance is taken and it's pretty much unjustified. I don't like that. But in this case, totally get it. Now, if they did something like, but then see, they got to tread that fine line, right? So let's say, because it seems like Assassin's Creed is taking assassins from, they're trying to put them in different places in different times, right? So suppose they do Africa. Now you're gonna have people that's like, oh, you gonna put it, what else would it be? You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to tread that line, whereas, but you know, it is what it is. But I don't even know if they would do that just because it would be, you know, I think that would be too much for people, unfortunately.
I'd play an African fucking Assassin's Creed. I don't give a shit where it's at, dude. Like I honestly, dude, like I thought I like that they travel all over the world and you get to see different cultures. It's kind of sick, dude. Like Origins was in Egypt. You know, you had Odyssey that took place in Rome, and then you had Valhalla is the Viking stuff, and I think it's cool, dude. Like Ezio was in Italy, like Altair was in the Middle East. Like, I mean, I think it's dope.
Yeah, do Africa. I think it'd be fire. Like when you think about it, like not trying to be like, you know, offensive, but like, you know, they have a different style of fighting with spears and just incorporating the whole African culture. I think that'd be dope, actually. You know, so it actually just depends on really its reception, and hopefully that something like that could come into the gaming world and then not be frowned upon. Let's jump in these comments real quick. We had Retro Rob. Shout out to Retro Rob. I don't know if he's in here.
What's up, Rob?
Retro Rob's a very, very good dude. We had Black Ranger, who's celebrating his dad's birthday. Happy birthday to Daddy Black Ranger.
Yeah.
Shout out to Black Ranger and A Omega. Big supporter. Shout out to A Omega. I'll be so glad when he starts dropping his content. He is extremely creative and talented, and he has some insane. I would love to see you two guys debate, right? Because he could go off and have some thoughts. It is hilarious. So we had to get him on here one day, and y'all kind of share your thoughts. He's another tech guy that's heavy in the tech. So shout out to him. Good dude.
Nice. It's nice to see people coming over to the channel, the podcast channel for sure. That's great.
We know it's going to take some time to get the folks over here, but appreciate the people that stopped in.
But it's with Ubisoft real quick though. Another thing too is like with people being upset, like it's been reported that like with this, you know, with their apology and like, oh, we're not trying to push an agenda. Well, you know, like for example, Star Wars Outlaws had its fair share of issues. Don't get me wrong. Like people were complaining, like you're supposed to be an outlaw, right? You're supposed to be a criminal, a smuggler, a bad person, you know? And all you can do is like pet the animals, but you can't shoot the animals or like, you know, you can't rob anybody but the police. Like you can't steal from anybody but the police. That doesn't sound very outlawish to me. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like those choices were bad. But then also there were reports that the main protagonist, the female character, I don't know her name, but they purposely made her look uglier from the actual actress who plays her, which is a real shame because the actress who plays her is actually very beautiful. And they did that on purpose. And then also another thing that people like when they made this apology about pushing an agenda, people came for them with torches and pitchforks because Ubisoft was offering some type of like program to like help people, and you couldn't apply for it unless you were non-binary or a woman. And so people like lost their minds with Ubisoft when they made the statement, well, we're not pushing an agenda. Well, it's like you kind of are. You're upsetting people by pushing like, and I'm not a woke person by any means, but it's like, here's the thing. This is what it doesn't matter what you as the game developer thinks, right? It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, the only opinion that matters is the people that are buying your games. Because if you want your games to sell well, you have to create games that people want to buy. And if people feel like you're being disingenuous or you're pushing an agenda or you're not producing good games because they're broken or they're not complete or whatever the case may be, people won't buy their games. And so the rough truth and reality of it all is it doesn't matter what you think as a game developer or as a game studio. It doesn't matter what you think people want. If it's not what people want, they're not going to buy your game. And it's been proven with Ubisoft. Their stock is at $2 a share. Like if this next game fails, I don't know what they're going to do. And I would not be surprised if someone like Sony or Microsoft or somebody swung by and bought them up and just like swallowed the company up. Like, because they won't be able to stand on their own 2 feet. Look at Square Enix, dude. Square Enix is not doing the greatest financially because they even admitted that Final Fantasy Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16 were way underperformed. Like they expected sales to be way up, and those games were fantastic games. Ubisoft has not been making fantastic games lately, and it's sad because I love Ubisoft. I've been a fan of them for years, but man, dude, like just make good games and people will play them. You know, you don't have to push these weird agendas on people that nobody wants. Like I think it's the vocal minority of people that want these things, and the vast majority of people have been speaking with their wallets, and that's why their numbers are down and they're not selling and they're in trouble. That's just what I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We got a comment from A Omega. I feel the whole thing with Ubisoft is pretty tone deaf, with Assassin's Creed being able to play with Yasuke and the actual black man that existed is one thing, but seeing how long they waited to give. Continue to give their fans their game set in Japan and directions they're pushing it in seems very disingenuous, at least for the. Yeah, that's true.
I agree.
That's
I
true.
agree with that. And a lot of people are speculating. Again, this is all speculation. It's not my opinion, but people are like, they pushed Assassin's Creed Shadows to Black History Month because the main character is black, and they
That's
think it's
crazy.
and
You
they
know
think
what?
it's gonna help boost their sales. They think it's gonna help boost their sales, like a
I
black
didn't even
samurai in Black History Month. Like and
I
it's a
did
guy
not
from
put
Black
that
History.
those two. I
Yeah,
didn't
I
put
didn't
those
put
two
that
together.
together.
Dude,
Now,
I
if they
I
did
saw
it
it in an
from the
article.
beginning, but again, it's still the fact that it's a Japanese assassin. I think the idea was cool, but maybe like Meg was saying, if they did, the Japanese protagonist, with it being more of the, I guess, recognizable Japanese figure as the protagonist, it would have made more sense. And because it's that, it still sucks that it's always that thing. Anytime it's a black protagonist, like it's kind of not fair that every time there's always something. Although I understand it, but and I hate that it's always seems negative. Like, why is it always that it's pushing agenda? Like, there's hardly any black protagonists in games, period. So how is that truly pushing an agenda that doesn't even exist?
Well,
Like, it's not like it's overly done. Like, I get the point. I truly
feel
do.
like
I'm not.
I feel like they do that same thing with girls too, and I think that kind of speaks to the
Yep.
point of like making the girl ugly or something. I feel like people are either saying, "Oh, they're making the girl too hot and it's distracting." What's that one game that just
Yeah,
came out?
because Rec, you spoke
Oh,
about that before,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
yeah.
About them making ugly female protagonists.
yeah.
That's weird.
They did that. They did that for Fable, the new Fable that's coming out. They purposely made the girl
What's up, bro?
unattractive, and people, not just men but females, are like, like dude, we don't. And it goes for male characters too. I don't want to play some ugly looking dude. Like, like I just like because they're trying to push it to where they want these main characters, male or female, to look, I guess, what they feel is more like everyday Joe, like a normal, like, so people feel more like look at that, like, oh, that could be me. Like, you know what I mean?
Uh,
Like,
I guess I could see that point to
There
some
is
degree, where it's not making it so extravagant where they kind of want. I could see it
here's the thing.
weird, but I get it.
The game, that game you're talking about is Stellar Blade.
Yes, I was just about to say Stellar
And guess
Blade.
what? Stellar Blade did really well. And it's kind of funny to me that since the dawn of time of video games, women wearing skimpy clothing and being sexy and attractive actually sells. It's kind of weird to me. But like here's the thing, dude, is like, the reality is the numbers don't lie, and people can say whatever they want, but if the game sells, that means people wanted the game. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks that doesn't agree with it. I
Right.
mean, numbers don't lie.
But I guess I don't know. The way I see it is I think people just don't want that to be the only reason the game sells. And this is coming from a girl. Like, I feel like I kind of agree with it. That shouldn't be the only reason a game sells. It should sell because it's a
No.
good game. I'm not saying they
Right.
have to go out and make the character ugly. I'm not saying they have to go out and make the character like voluptuous, whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I just feel like just be more like, I don't know, like be more subtle. I guess they don't have to be over the top on it by any means either way, but like just make it natural. It doesn't have to be like extra.
I just feel like no, and I agree. I feel like these these companies, when you go out of your way to make a character look less attractive because you feel like it makes people feel more included in your game, that's pushing an agenda. And people at this day and age in 2024 are tired of the agendas. The numbers don't lie. If people weren't tired of it, they would buy the game, but they don't buy the game. And now the company is crashing and they are burning. And they're like, oh shit, what are we going to do? We need to fix this, because I hate to say it, because I'm pretty left leaning, you guys. Like, I'm a Bernie Sanders guy. Like, I am left leaning, but at a point, the statement "get woke or go broke" is proving very true within the video game and movie industry, because Disney is struggling with Marvel. The video game industry is struggling when they do that. Look at something like Baldur's Gate 3. Dude, went above and beyond expectations, right? Because they didn't do none of that. They had, it was just a good, solid game. When these companies go out of their way to appease people instead of just focusing on making a good game, like that's the problem. Is you can, I don't care if the main character is black or a woman or white or an alien. I don't care. If it's a good game, I will play the game. Horizon Zero Dawn, absolutely fantastic. Forbidden West, fantastic. It's a female protagonist. She's not over voluptuous and like sexualized, but it's a damn good game and people wanted to play it. Star Wars Outlaws, not a good game. It's a bad game. Like, that's reality. I think here's the thing. Last point I'll make. I think when people complain about girls getting like made uglier or whatever, I think that is like the easiest excuse to grab at, right? Like, I think like people aren't looking at the big picture of like, the game was just bad.
Yeah.
It was just bad. Like,
Right.
that's just like the easy thing to say. Oh, the protagonist is black, so that's why we hate it. Or the protagonist is an ugly woman, so that's why we hate it. And they did that on purpose to force black people and women down our throats, whatever. That's just the easy thing for people to latch onto. People aren't looking at the fact that like the mechanics were bad. It was buggy and glitchy. Like, literally, like, you're an outlaw, but you can only steal from the police. Makes no sense to me. Like there were things that were just bad about the game. And I honestly, that's just what I think.
Yeah. Let's hit these comments real quick before we segue to the next topic. I can see it now. Buy our game to a cultural history buff because one of the main characters. And if you don't, yeah, unfortunately, probably. However, Fable has always had character creator though, right? So you can make your character look how.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about that. I know you're a big Fable guy.
Fable has never had a character creator in all 3 games. You've always played as the same protagonist. The only thing that was different was you can play as a man or a woman in part 2 and part 3. But part 1, you played as a boy character. But other than changing your clothes or your outfits, or your hairstyle, there was no character creator at all. You played the character they made for you.
Okay. And y'all said Stellar Blade has done well because at the bottom of it all, it's a good game. Yeah, that's true. I think ultimately that's what's going to win things over.
Mm-hmm.
He says Outlaws actually a bad game though. I haven't played it. I think Rep played it.
I have not played it. I have watched
Okay.
gameplay footage and I have watched reviews of the game and people's complaints with the game. And honestly, like, I have no interest. I'm not spending $70 on a broken game. I'm over that. I'm done doing that. Like, honestly, dude, I felt the same way with Cyberpunk when it came out. Now it's good because they fixed it. And I'd already bought it. So I went back and played it. It's good now, but I'm tired of buying these rushed, broken games that nobody asked for. Like, I was pissed because I'm a big Star Wars guy and they have been talking about making Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the remake, forever. And instead, like, we keep getting games like Star Wars Outlaw or Jedi Survivor or Fallen Order and all this stuff. And I'm not saying those 2 games are bad. I heard Survivor and Fallen Order are good, but I've been waiting for Knights of the Old Republic remake. So I don't know. Outlaws, I heard, is trash. It doesn't look very good. I have no interest in playing it at all. I'm not spending $70 on it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. But let's segue to the next topic. Nintendo had some big releases this week.
Yes, they did.
They released The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom along with the Hyrule edition of the Nintendo Switch Lite. I dropped the video unboxing and going to pick it up. I was going to get to that because that was my perfect segue right after this topic to go into show and tell because I pretty much got what Mike got, but whatever. I did a video. It actually did pretty freaking good. I was shocked that my video was doing really good. So thank everybody for supporting that video. But yeah, I'm excited. I've been playing the Zelda game, and man, I'm impressed. Like I'm really, really impressed. Of course, everybody gonna say I'm biased, and I'm fine. I'll take that. But I've been having fun with this game. I'm gonna do a quick review. I'm gonna do a Voters viewpoint on this video. I'm gonna try to do it today and get it out as soon as possible. But just the biggest difference that I take away from this game, because we all know Mike did a short talking about how this is not the first time playing as Zelda as the main protagonist, because it was the Philips CDI, but with me being even a Nintendo fan, not too many people played that game. And obviously it gets lost. Nobody played it, right? But even what's different, like just the fact that I'm not gonna do any spoilers. I didn't get super far, but just like some of the main things to point out is the fact that like you're playing as Zelda and you kind of, and I watched Wood beat 'em ups. He did a review on it. I think he played like 12, 16 hours straight, some 24-hour stream, something he did, and he talked about how they basically made this game where you can play the game through your way. Like you can actually do things like learning how to recreate anything, well, certain things in the environment of the game and kind of make your way through the game. And it's just enough puzzle based, just enough difficulty, but it makes you think of what items you need to create to get through the different levels and the dungeons and stuff.
Kind of like having Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, they did say that I haven't played mine because mine's still so I need to get a standard copy because I'm not opening that one. But yes, I did hear that was a mechanic that was on Tears of the Kingdom, and I think that's awesome. Like it just gives it a feel of, I know AK was talking about feeling immersed in games. It kind of makes you feel like you're creating and making your way through instead of it being the one way you think of ways to do it yourself. So that's pretty awesome. I really have been enjoying that game a lot, and I can't wait to get some time to get back into playing that. But
you know,
what's your thoughts on that, Rec? I know that you picked it up. Have you got a chance to play it yet?
Not yet. I've been playing the hell out of Astrobot, dude, but I am going to play it. My daughter's excited to play it. One thing I will say, I don't know, I'm really surprised, unless it's coming later, which I don't know. Like, I figured if they were going to make one, it would have came out with the release of the game. It would have made more sense. But, you know, when Link's Awakening, the remake came out, we got this little guy, the amiibo for the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised we didn't get a Zelda that looked like this.
I thought they came out with something. I know that a lot of stores, like I got mine from Best Buy, they had different amiibos, but I was looking, I'm like, I don't think those are new to the game because I did pay attention.
No, they re-released the Wind Waker Zelda amiibo because there are certain amiibos. So only Zelda amiibos work in the game. You can't. It's not like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild where you can use any amiibo from any game and you get items. But every Zelda amiibo ever made, there's 27 or 29 of them. I can't remember. I have all of them. They all do something in the game. It's not like as vast as Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Really, the amiibos just give you different outfits in the game. So if you have amiibos, use them in the new Zelda because you either get recipe items or you get different articles of clothing, which is cool. So yeah, I'm excited to play it. It looks fantastic. I'm just I got so many games on my list that I'll get to it eventually, guys. I haven't even finished Tears of the Kingdom yet, for God's sake. Like I'm like behind, dude. I'm so behind.
So much backlog, but we can just segue right into show and tell, obviously. So I'll do mine first. Mike always makes me do a solo for myself. I don't like it. But here's my Hyrule Edition Switch Lite. And the cool thing, it did include a 12-month subscription, individual membership with the expansion pack, and it's a code inside. So I did open mine. Like, I feel like the big deal with, I'm sure people like, all right, if you bought it to be collectible, why'd you open it? And I explained that in my video. The biggest thing with consoles, because they don't have the plastic wrap, the biggest thing is whether or not they're played and whether or not you have everything inside. So that's what it is. I don't plan on selling it, by any means, but still. This is mine. It's a cool console. I love the color of it. It's fantastic. And I know for a fact this is going to go up in value regardless of what anybody says. Because especially if it's Zelda or Mario, for the most part, some of the Mario stuff, not so much all the time. But of course, I got Zelda, Echoes of Wisdom. Great game. Highly recommend it. And also got some stuff that you will see soon on the channel. A couple games I've been wanting for quite some time. Went down to East Starland, got Bloodstained. I've been wanting this game for a while. Another cool game. I haven't got a chance to play it, but I did some research on the Final Vendetta, which is you probably could put a couple of things together. Like it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up brawler, and it's elements of Final Fight, Streets of Rage, all that, typical style, but it looks awesome. So that's a great game. And all these games you can get for like $20 or less. Alice Kid and Miracle World DX. This is a remake of I believe it came out, it was on the Master System in the 80s. So this is a remake, kind of like that Toki game I got. But it's pretty cool. I wanted that. And then I actually drove back down to East Starland to return one because I completely forgot that I wanted this game. Scott Pilgrim versus the World Complete Edition. I cannot wait to play this game. All these games I cannot wait to play. Like, I'm super excited to play these games, and you'll see these on future episodes where I dive a little bit deeper into them, but be on the lookout for that in the future of my channel. So Rec, you got quite a bit.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't following Rec on social media, you should. He had a time. Look at that. Look at that stack.
This is only half the stack. I bought 50 games yesterday. So here's the titles. I'm not going to make you guys go through every single one. It's a lot of filler, but there are some good ones in there. You got I don't know, Spy Hunter's a good one. SmackDown vs. Raw 06 is good. Need for Speed Pro Street. Mercenaries is a good one. But yeah, you guys can see that's stack 1 for the PS2. And then here's stack 2. Kill Switch, Kessen 2. What else we got? Unreal Tournament's a good one.
Ratatouille.
Yeah. Ratatouille. We got what else do we got? Celebrity Deathmatch, Namco Museum, Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights. And then I also got Soldier of Fortune, the gold edition. So there were some good ones in there. They were like the most expensive games, dude, were like $10 to $15 out of the stack. A lot of the games were $3 to $5, maybe $8, but I'm trying to knock out big chunks of the library. So, but then, yeah, just like Marcus, I got my Switch that I will not be opening because I already have 2 Switch Lites. I have the Tears of the Kingdom Switch, and I have my launch day Switch. So I'm just like the Tears of the Kingdom OLED, I'm going to keep this sealed on my shelf because I already have a Switch that I play all the time. I got Zelda. Another big game that was released this past week is the remake or whatever of Epic Mickey Rebrushed from the Nintendo Wii. My daughter loves Mickey Mouse, and I remember playing this on the Wii, and it was fun. So I think she'll really get a kick out of that. I also I got very lucky. GameStop had one left that the person who put it on hold didn't pick up. I got the Astrobot PlayStation 5 controller that I am going to leave.
Super lucky. Super lucky.
And then I got a couple games, more modern stuff. I got Devil May Cry 5 for the PS4 that I'll just pop into my PS5. And then I also I bought these on a whim. I don't know anything about these, but supposedly they are Korean survival horror games, and GameStop had both of them in stock, and that is White Day Part 1 and White Day Part 2, the complete edition, both for PS5. So basically these are basically Korea. They take place in Korea. They are survival horror games that take place in a high school with puzzles and all kinds of like creepy stuff like is going on. So I don't know. I like survival horror games, and I got a really good deal at GameStop for White Day 2 because White Day 2 is selling for like $60-$70 on eBay, and I got it for $40 at GameStop. White Day 1 at $25 was priced accordingly. But I wanted to try them because, again, I like survival horror games, and like, I don't know, man. I'm like looking at the past of games like Kuon or Rule of Rose and stuff, and these weird, obscure North American horror games are ones that I try to pick up because you never know that in 20 years, White Day might be the next Kuon. Like, you don't know. Like, I always try to pick up all the horror games.
Those survival horror and JRPGs, like, it's almost like as a collector, you never can predict the future of certain games, right? But it's almost like those are the games that normally become like rare or
Yep.
expensive titles. So,
Yep.
just a thought to keep in mind.
Yep, that's why I always pick up survival horror for any console that I see, PS4, PS5, or Switch. I'm always trying to grab them now, because in 10 or 20 years, when they're, over $100, $200, $900, like Kuon,
Yeah.
you just never know. So like JRPGs, survival horror, those are the two genres that more
Yep.
often than not, they tend to get up in price. So, but that's all I got
Totally agree.
this week, guys. I mean, I say that's all, but yeah, I picked up quite a bit.
That's definitely quite a bit. I don't think AK got anything cool other than some cool content, right? So
Uh,
we could jump into what to expect on your channel. Let the people know how to follow you and what to expect.
Yeah. So you can follow me on at AK Games pretty much anywhere, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. This week I'm pretty sure a Hitman video coming out because it's kind of been in talks lately. So I'm gonna be doing a little. I like to call them gaming essays on that, and yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I've been also starting to do lives by myself too, so randomly until I solidify a date. So yeah, just subscribe and look out for that.
Okay, awesome.
Go
Mr.
ahead,
Rec
Marcus. I'm gonna
I'm
go
gonna hit
last.
these comments off real quick.
Okay.
Ayo Mega says, I take it Rec Wizard would keep his day one Switch 2 sealed as well.
No. My day one Switch is my daily driver, dude. That's what I play on every day.
No, he's talking about the next one.
Oh, the Switch. Oh, hell no, dude. Switch 2, I'm playing that sucker the day it comes out, dude. Like, I'm so excited for the Switch 2, bro. Like, I have to play it the first day.
All right, good buddy Glenn in the comments. Bloodstain is awesome. Final Vendetta is in the backlog. I'm glad I got some. Glenn has very good taste in video games. Very, very well rounded. Kind of like Rec and AK. I'm just now expanding my palette, so to speak, with games. So a lot more of these games are becoming more interesting day by day. Whoa, white damn offended just show. That's funny. Scott Pilgrim is a great game. It's definitely worth double dip. Absolutely. So this is well, from the research I did on it, I believe like the original came out digital only like 6 or 7 years prior to the physical version, if I'm staying corrected. Like that's kind of crazy, and people were pushing for it. But after like kind of doing some research on it, I was like, yeah, I gotta have this game. Like I love brawlers and side scrolling beat 'em ups, old school style with the old school style vibes and graphic design. Like it's a fantastic game, and it's pretty highly recommended amongst the community. A lot of people generally love this game, so I'm excited about that. But as far as what to look for to my channel, we decided to move forward with voters viewpoint, so I'm going to be doing a lot of that, which also gives me a chance to play a lot of my stuff, well, no matter how much time I get to put into it. Also Quest DS, I'm still tinkering with the idea and how I want to do that presentation. But next week I will be in Pittsburgh for Pittsburgh Gaming Expo. The following weekend I will be in Arkansas for Retro Rick. Shout out to Retro Rick's Retro Fest. Excited about that. Shout out to Retro Rob. I'm gonna be chilling with Retro Rob for the weekend, so that's gonna be dope. So I'm excited to see everybody back down there. And then like 2 or 3 weeks after that, I'm gonna be in Columbus, Ohio for Torg, and I'll be doing media at all 3 events. So yeah, that's my plans. Rec Wizard.
Nice. So a couple things for the channel. I'm still working on some videos. I wanted to show you guys this because I thought, if you guys are gamers and you have friends or family that are gamers, that you're looking to buy a gift for, a company reached out to me called Ready Player U. They have an Instagram and a website. So basically they make custom video game cartridges as gifts for your loved ones or for yourself, and they have different themes, but I figured I would show you. So let me get that to focus. So basically the acrylic magnetic case is sold separately, but it's not very expensive at all. But this is the custom cartridge that you get, and it comes with a custom label that you can put whatever you want on it. They have labels for Father's Day. They have labels for Mother's Day, birthdays, different events, and you can change what the little sprites look like. This is clearly the Zelda themed cartridge. And it comes with, you can buy separately a little magnetic acrylic case, and then you can buy a little stand and you can display it on your shelf just like that. So mine says Ocarina of Dad, Songs of Wrecked Wizard. It said, and then down the side label it says became a dad August 17th, 2020. This is when my daughter was born. But like I said, they have different themed cartridges from Zelda to God of War to Halo to so many different ones. And if you use coupon code RectWizard10, you save 10% off for these cartridges. So, and they're really reasonably priced, guys. I think you can get the whole setup, the cartridge, the stand, and the acrylic case for like $50.
What's that code again? I'm putting it in the comments for the guys.
It's RectWizard10, the number 10. And
all right, I linked the website and the code in the comment section, guys.
Yeah, you'll get 10% off, guys. So like if you're interested to buy it for a loved one or check out what custom cartridges they got for your game collection, I think they're really cool. And then the next thing for my channel, I'm going to try to today set up my PS5 to my capture card, because Warner Brothers Games reached out to me and sent me Mortal Kombat 1 with their brand new DLC. So I'm going to be playing the story mode for their new DLC and going through that today live on YouTube. And if you missed the live event, we can, you'll be able to see it as a VOD after the fact. It'll be uploaded to the channel. But yeah, I want to thank Warner Brothers Games for sending me like the whole shebang. Like when they reached out to me and they're like, hey, can you review this game? I'm like, guys, I would love to review your game. It's one I've been wanting, but I don't own the base game of Mortal Kombat 1 yet. So I won't be able to do the expansion. And they're like, oh, no. We're going to send you the base game, the new expansion, the pre-order bonuses, and the DLC characters, all for
awesome.
all for review. And I'm like,
good.
so the whole package, which was awesome. Like that's freaking wild. So I'm excited. So they let me pick what platform, whether it was Steam or Xbox or PlayStation. I chose PS5. And I'm actually going to be playing it with a fight stick. I'm not going to use a controller today. I love using a fight stick but yeah, that's my plan. After the podcast, I'm going to take a little break and then come back and set up my PS5 and do a live stream of the new Mortal Kombat game. So if you're interested in checking that out, definitely keep an eye on my personal channel. And then other than that, I'm just doing, SoCal Part 2 is coming out this week. It was supposed to come out last week, but I got super busy. And then I have a couple other videos from friends like game stores and stuff like that I need to finish editing and sending off to my editor and stuff. So a lot of stuff, guys. I am behind. It's what happens when you work 12 hours a day and you have 2 kids and, where does the time go? I don't know. But there's a lot of content coming sporadically, in the future, guys. So just stay tuned for that.
Awesome. AK, did you go? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I did go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Double check it. Any last thoughts? Because we can really sign off for the episode. Thank you guys for tuning in, and please show your support and subscribe to the podcast channel. I'm working on getting everything updated with past episodes, and also for the audio listeners, if you don't catch the live, you'll be able to find them on the channel, and I'm working on getting them posted to the audio platforms as well. And with that being said, we will see you guys next week. Make sure you love on your family and be safe, guys. Later.
Bye, guys.